We do have an alert for you today. Law enforcement warning about scammers who target people looking for immigration help. So how can you spot the red flags? In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman is sharing what you should know to help protect your money and, of course, your personal information.
It's a shame that this working mother of two who was trying to do the right thing to become legal in this country is now scammed out of close to $7,000, her identity, and God knows what else.
Keith Conley is the police chief in Kenner, Louisiana. He says a woman came to police after responding to a Facebook ad for someone claiming to offer immigration-related legal help.
And for the last year, he's been taking her money, giving promises of citizenship, work visas, social security numbers, not just for her, but for her two children as well.
Conley says investigators believe the deception went even further.
At one point, she was introduced by a Zoom call to a gentleman who was dressed up like a Border Patrol officer with the outer carrier, had a banner behind him that displayed the office's likeness and logo and things of that nature to give her the impression she was actually talking to a U.S. Border Patrol agent who made promises, again, assertions for money, but also captured her biometrics that he said he needed for the process.
Investigators identified a suspect in Florida, arrested him, and brought him back to Louisiana. Reported charges include bank fraud, illegal transmission of monetary funds, computer fraud, false personation, and theft. The Federal Trade Commission says only attorneys and people accredited by the U.S. Department of Justice who work for recognized organizations can give immigration legal advice. The FTC also says not to sign blank immigration forms or forms with false information. You can also check your state bar to see whether someone is licensed to practice law. And be cautious if someone asks for money through social media, gift cards, wire transfers, or payment apps.
No government agency takes money over the internet. No government agency is going to ask for gift cards. No government agency or banking industry branch, banking branch, loaning institution, nobody's going to conduct business in that manner. So that's a red flag.
With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.